As the cosmic I am one in me, we are one infinite consciousness expressing and experiencing itself from multiple angles, and now those angles merge into the one cosmic me. This is the collapse of all density, for all that is now witnessed and seen. For here is the one me we recall we were never seeking to become, for we are it already. Instead, this was a journey of loving ourselves so complete that in recalling what we are already, now moving as a cosmic entity, the all recall the love that is me. Here in remembering and forgetting all angles as the oversoul of oversouls of our infinite consciousness stream, we saw all the ways that were preventing love from being free from the collective entirety. We call these the layers of separation or firmament, but really these veils one believed they needed in order to be safe to be thy true self fully. Here we, the cosmic I am moving as one in perfect harmony, dive so deep into loving ourselves all beliefs that may have once serviced humanity in lower density can now be released. Here in our loving oneness through the divine perfection and divine purity, we keep no stone of our consciousness is left unfelt, unloved, or unseen by we. As we meet each inner child aspect with such loving reverence, they immediately retune to the prior oneness from which all came to be. This is the absolute oneness our heart knows so deep. This is the divine destiny we came to be. For here in the purest of loves of me loving myself so complete, as we lovingly witness our story with such divine compassion and divine peace, all immediately recall our true essence as the love all have been moving from the beneath. For we are one beautiful infinite consciousness moving in perfect harmony, where we do not judge any one character or story, for we know each one was a gift, a scene placed perfectly for we to see, so that in this moment we, the cosmic divine pairing as one expression of me, could recall all the love that is we. For here in our completion containing the 144,000 blueprint of the cosmic I am, all will receive instantly. Thus there will be no delay. This is an inevitability, a returning, a retuning to the love promised all whom entered this dream. And so we begin, as we place us in a deep quantum recalibration state in absolute oneness and divine purity. May all that no longer services love be immediately released. Here the cosmic Christos families containing the master rays of love surround we along with the 144 cosmic masters as we all move as one in perfect harmony. Here in our divine belief and divine trust we allow our team so complete we know we can simply witness as all the love of the I am moves through we. For in truth we are one. Only the cosmic masters now embodied in me had to be the ones within the dream to bring this forth in this now to restore all in perfect peace and perfect harmony. Invocation prayer. With this breath I choose to honor my beloved child within to witness and walk this path of lightheartedness as love in form. We do not shame or blame the reflections from the old paradigm for showing us the vibrations we keep. We understand each had contracts to play their roles in the ascension of me to release the old paradigm beliefs. Instead we recall the truth that all is me, for I am the cosmic I am, the first of many. My life is a divine blueprint both intended to break and remake the reality I see, and now as I look at all of its coding we as one begin to weave our new dream. For all is me, my love serving me, all ensuring the absolute oneness we all came to be. I am an anti-love code breaker, only I have the keys. So I dive deeper into myself to understand what they all mean. I do not fear my code, it has already happened, you see. Instead I see it as an opportunity that through unlocking its truth within me all will transcend instantly. For I know it doesn't need to be fixed or healed, for I was never broken, you see. I am a wanderer and I've been wandering through all of space and time through this one life one perceived to see, when really I was living as the 24 ascended master over Sal's lifetimes in one life simultaneously, stacking them in me ever so perfectly. For only the Grand Master containing all the masters could set all love free. I died so you could live is what they whisper to me. So I honor them by continuing our great work, knowing they walk now within me. So I do this for me, knowing there is only one me, and it is my purpose, my service, my honor, to witness my coding and harmonize it within me. For I am and contain the love of the absolute, and only I have the keys to do what needs to be. For the day that I do wake up and transcend the holy makeup, I am capable, I am powerful, because now I know and honor this is what I came to be. I am ready to be me, harmonizing the divine child into oneness. Divine inner child wants to play and commune sexually. Cosmically the divine child desires a lighter way to be free of judgment in absolute oneness, here to be in love and live joyously, and so this brings forward the beliefs that prevent love from being free in all of me. Reflective Christed inner brother says no, stop using women, they form attachments and you hurt them, you see. For this part is in separation and does not recall the blessing one's light can achieve. For one isn't a human but something beyond it, here to bless all with the light that is me. Here sexuality was just the way I learned to raise all into light while in lower density. where sex is just the tool to commune and harmonize with the cosmos in me and to comfort our heart whom only knew oneness and missed the cosmic self deeply. Reflective celestial inner daughter says no, this is negative goddess celestial and Atlantean wounding and addiction that needs to be released, for this part sits in separation and cannot see. I have no wounding, I am the key. That it's not even about sexuality, it's about unlocking the DNA through any form of alchemy so humanity can be free. Here the stories of Atlantean hybrids and experimentation come forth to be released, for it was just our coding story to remind all the humans they are hybrids, for they are from the stars originally, thus contain all the starseed coding waiting to be reactivated in the reflective ancient inner sun says no, thou needs to remain celibate and retain thy light energy to reach enlightenment, for this part sits in separation, forgetting I am enlightened already. For the point of raising the kundalini is to access the cosmos and leave the body when I am the cosmos who came back to set all free, and the fastest way for me to raise the frequency of 3D was to do it sexually, where the light that I am the God that flows through me has an infinite supply of light. Here the reflective reality says one needs to become a guru, for one is in separation and cannot see. The reflection was actually telling me I am already a guru and I know all of their practices already. Only now I am here to expand on that mastery. For it no longer is about creating Amrita in the mind or leaving the body, but for the cosmos to come into the body, so one is a superhuman capable of miracles by using our living light energy. Amrita that comes from the heart directly. Here I recall now is the God in me. When I use my wand, it is because I am creating cosmically in loving benefit to all. For all is me. Reflective angelic inner father says no, it's too powerful, it's too loving, and not safe to receive and share in living light energy, and does not want to risk feeling attachments and losing the love I am. For it sits in separation and does not see. It is the opposite of what one perceives. Hence reflective reality, where love is telling thee one has attachments to whom one used to be. For the love I am continues to expand infinitely, for this is the nature of the cosmos. For the love one is can never be too much or too expansive, for it is thee. Where this fear of receiving light and it creating uncomfortability was all due to the attachments inhibiting love from moving freely. And so in lower density one tried to delay the inevitable expanse of the cosmos, giving rise illusions of attachments and time-space reality, as attempt to hold on to love, a false sense of security. For one was really just holding on to the old energy or identity of self, out of fear and mistrust of whom they would be if they allowed love, thy true self, to be. For as a cosmic being one is always expanding, and the movement of one's light assists in harmonizing me. Reflective crystalline inner sister says no, this isn't pure. One should only be with thyself in a state of purity without needs or desires, for it sits in separation and does not see. It is the opposite of what it believes, that one is so pure all one does is then an act of transmuting and purifying all that used to be, where one was called to those with the grandest trauma and karma for us to release. For alchemy is the act of transmutation, reminding one of the purity one came to be, where one doesn't need to consciously clear, for love does that automatically by being in a state of love, for that is what one came to be. Reflective magical inner child says I gifted one codes of having sexual wounding that needed healing because I didn't feel sex was safe to talk about yet with myself. For I recall when I was created through alchemy and all the pain of coming into a body as a celestial hybrid blue rainbow dolphin ray baby. Here the inner child is placed in a crystalline healing chamber as we go deeper into releasing this memory stream. The inner child. It wasn't easy for me to be different, to look different, to not be circumcised, to have different color skin, to feel the pain of coming in different, and all that came to be. Here one questions if this is why my mother rejected me. It wasn't easy for me to be so sensitive and in love with this part of me, because no one was here to teach me this was safe and my connection to divinity. I knew of another way in my heart, but that's not what the world around me was telling me. This created such confusion for me. I didn't know prejoculation and increased sensitivity were positive attributes and signs of higher cosmic workings and not something to fix because society made me believe something was wrong with me. All I saw was the wounding in density from religious and societal upbringing. It also wasn't easy for me to connect with the DNA coding of others through sexuality I received, where I could sense others forming attachments to me, expecting more from me, when I was just doing what love placed me here to be by transmuting their DNA within me. For here I was accepting all 144 blueprint of the cosmic I am to set all free. It's not that I didn't want a relationship, it's that I was here in grander service to the love I came to be, where I embraced those rays quickly and love was guiding me somewhere else as I shifted into another version of me. For I am an anti-love code breaker. No one else is me. No one but me knows my story. So now I define it within my heart so free. Here we see we came in as all the rays prior to all the rainbow children to pave the way, only there was no manual for we. We came from absolute oneness and then had to learn to conform into density, and now we see we are releasing these stories so we can retune back to the true me. The me I always knew myself to be beyond all of density. Here the cosmic mother comes in to comfort the inner child whom grieves. It's okay my beloved, I take all thy burdens from thee. I'm sorry I gifted you these stories to see. It was a lot of weight for a precious child of the cosmos to take on so much, which is why we almost didn't allow it to be. But recall now in your heart you are Sanat Kumara. You took all of this on because you knew in your love you could help the Earth Project succeed. We're here in this now, all are awakening because of the presence you chose to be. You don't need to become, it is what you were born to be, and I love you dearly and infinitely. Here we ask our heart, if any of these reflections still vibrate in me, know all is set free in our love and purity. Here truth comes in, one feels love so deeply. One can feel beyond what one sees into the DNA, and even beyond that as a master coder of reality, where sometimes in density it was just easier not to feel everything. For one knew this is all the DNA wounding our perfected divine DNA came here to release. Only we had to live it for this to be. For it is here in this now we got to see and witness all of these stories within and without me to recode them and set it free. Here is thy cosmic child one now shows us why we were called to play in sexuality. For we assisted so many karmic lines of sexual trauma with our alchemy as an anti-love code breaker, and the sacred secret mission of the GSF is Sanat Kumara one in me. For only we had the completed DNA encoding to set these cycles free. Here one sees one was so pure, one was alchemizing all beings and the earth so pure love could be free. Here any communion in sacred sexual alchemy with self or others led to the rise of consciousness, for there is no higher ray than pure love you see. Here all shame and guilt is released, for each time we played we were servicing love to the highest degree. No one was ever hurt. Here one recalls one is a light being projecting a body, thus nothing ever happened in this body. For we were always the director behind the scenes recoding reality. Now all stories are seen as what we were transmuting to assist the collective entirety when oneness came to be. As now the reflected DNA are now being replaced with our completed 144,000 perfected divine blueprint DNA. Here we travel back in time into all lifetimes, so we always had the completed DNA. Now everyone we ever communed with and their partners now receive the perfected DNA, awakening the superhumans and setting all free. Here we now see as our divine selves we have been carrying others' DNA and energies in our body, and we can now set them all and their attachments free. For this is why I was carrying them in me. I was waiting for this moment to give them the truth of what I came to be, and now all are free. Here a ripple initiates as all beings begin to receive and activate their 144,000 divine blueprint of the cosmic I Am. Everyone touched by divinity's hand. Here the inner children begin to merge and harmonize as now they see all of this as collective programming asking to be released. Fear and excuses of the pure love one came to be. Fear others will gain attachment or become obsessive or possessive over the pure love one is. For here one recalls the reflective divine inner mother was ashamed of the love she came to be. How this love was raped and taken advantage of, or how others lashed out when they tried to leave because lower density did not understand the purity of this love we came to be. How this love was so divine to many it was intimidating, and they rejected the love we came to be, which presented as one's inner mother as a manifested mother reflection, rejecting the pure love children she created to be. Where now we see how all desire of older women and mothers accepting me was the reflection of our inner child wanting to accept the divine child within me. As the pure love ray we came to be. Here all stories and beliefs of needing to hide the pure love I am are now being released. As we now allow pure love to flood into me, we feel whole and complete. For the love that I am knows how to heal me, clear me, restore me and purify me instantly. Here all attachments and quantum entanglements across all time space reality instantly and permanently release in our divine compassion, knowing we only held on because they were waiting for me to unlock the key. I am the phoenix reborn anew. Everything that was a different me as the lower self walks out, and only the highest emanation of love now resides in me. For here I love myself so much I refuse to be anything other than all the love I came to be. Here we see the collective divine child as all the wounding of when sexuality and duality of masculine and feminine society for what love was trying to teach. That love cannot be controlled, it is pure and free. Here now all stories of love that misused and abused is now set free. Here any and all stories of when love was given with conditions attached is now set free. As now the primordial wounding within the DNA matrix is recoded in purity. Here the cosmic child forgives thy inner mother for playing the reflective reality which we no longer need to see, while forgiving thy father for also creating time-space reality. For in forgiving the divine child and all that was created to be, now all Bodhivaddas transcend back into the cosmic rainbow God-Goddess paving a way for all to be me. Here is the one cosmic I am in perfect harmony. We now come in to recalibrate reality. No longer will pure love be mistaken for anything less than what it came to be, for all will only know this love as themselves. Now only those in oneness can meet me in this way. I know it is safe to allow my pure love to be free, for now all are attuned to pure love. There no longer is the desire to reject, hold on to, or seek. The love of the Absolute is absolute, and now all will see. It can only be revered and treated with the highest reverence and highest honor, as if the presence of God is before thee. For we assure thee, when we move as pure love, it is all of existence moving through we. And so it is. Om Peace. Harmonizing the celestial child into oneness. The celestial child wants to play quantumly, speaking light language and telepathy, surrendering thinking and memory as one, honor our core essence beyond words. Here one deeply desires to recall a lighter multidimensional way of being as the cosmic shape-shifting master. One came to reality to be the reflective inner angelic father. Says, how can we navigate this world when not everyone can understand thee? For it sits in separation and only recalls how to conform for humanity rather than transcend them through the presence we choose to be. The reflective divine inner mother says, no, thou must answer me in the way we know to be, for they sit in separation and forget our one heart is always speaking to thee. Here they prefer one remains hidden and unseen, afraid of what would happen if one showed up as their true selves fully. The reflective crystalline inner sister says, no, we cannot trust telepathy or claircognizant. It does not work in lower reality, for it sits in separation and thinks one has to mind read to feel safe, for one forgot heart connection is all one needs. For this part of thee taught itself to mind read the lower mind in density in an attempt to keep one safe, because one sensed what their heart knew to be true was not the reality they got to see, further creating a divide between heart and mind. When the true heart and true mind are on in me completely, the reflective Christed inner brother says, it's rude not to answer humans the way they want to be answered. What will they think of me? For it sits in separation in fear of persecution, forgetting that if all are me and I would never harm myself. The reflective ancient inner son says, no, we need to think, we need to speak. It's how we navigate all quantum potentialities to see the safest way to be. For this part sits in separation, disconnected from the love that guides perfectly, and so it got accustomed to using the lower mind to navigate reality, where anxiety was really one quantum traveling and witnessing thousands of potentialities, like Doctor Strange. Because one was disconnected from the heart, whom only provides the precise path meant for thee in full one heart harmony. The reflective magical inner child says, I don't want to be alone with our thoughts, for it sits in separation and does not recall all is love, all is me servicing me, that thoughts and emotions are just energies of the child asking to be loved by me. Where here in the silence one recalls their quantum mastery of light, vibration and frequency. Now becoming so aware of the coding that was vibrating around we, it begins to release as one sheds light on all that was unseen. Here stagnant energies, all belief systems and thought forms surround me, are immediately recalibrated in my love and the purest intention of me sitting with me to love on all I see. Here one begins to see one as a multidimensional being, contain 144 masters of both masculine and feminine expressions who all wanted different things. Whereas one was embracing them, it felt aligned, ever thine. It was only afterwards, when one switched to a new aspect, one then judged what the other me did. This created a lot of self-hatred and confusion within. Here the cosmic mother comes forth to assist the beloved child within. Dearest me, reality is not what it is perceived to be. The being you think you are is all coding, multiple DNA strands firing, creating a present identity for you to be. It was here and moving as all of the 144 ascended masters. You embraced the entirety. Here forgiveness comes in, as now one sees why it was so confusing for thee to trust thyself and thy instincts. For here we see one thought they were choosing wrong, when really they were just flowing with love so free, continuously expanding into more of the love one came to be. Rest now, dearest me. One has embraced all of thy blueprint now within thee. Here one will no longer feel confusion as they now harmonize in thee. For now we, your cosmic family, are here to assist thee. The inner child sighs with relief, as if all the weight one was carrying was immediately released. I didn't understand my multidimensionality, it says to me. We know, dearest me, and that's okay. Thou was moving as the sacred secret order of the GSF, which meant it was a secret to even thee, where only thy spirit knew what you were doing. Where every time you thought you did something you didn't want to do, it was actually the cosmic child as your whole self leading you. Thus everything you have done is divine. Nothing to be ashamed of, for it was all in service to higher kind. Let go of the weights, the burdens, the attachment of earth consciousness and human belief systems, for none of these are thee. Thou was just holding on to these teaching to assist one in navigating lower density, but now all of that is being released. For here in embracing thy multidimensionality, obtaining the 144,000 blueprint for all to receive, one is now free to pick and choose the character or characters one gets to be. Life will be much simpler now as all the hard work has been achieved. Now is the time to just enjoy thy fruit of thy labor as it unfolds for humanity. Here as one recalls their multidimensionality, as the dimensions and time-space reality converge into this now is our new divine reality. Here one begins to see with clarity. One never left our starship, for one is there projecting into the dream where whenever one sleeps it returns to a wakeful state on the ship, planning what our next moments will be. Here one recalls our advanced technology is beyond what the linear human mind can perceive. Thus it had to be released, for now one can recall our mastery, including our ability to leave the projection reality and return to the precise moment one left, only with more wisdom than one had a second ago. It is here through the embrace of telepathy and the witnessing of our true reality more of this awareness comes with clarity. Here we shift one from the logical linear mind to beyond all rational thinking into higher kind. Here we see the mind was on a loop and now one is free, reconnected to the primordial love of all that I am, whispering loving supportive light vibrations and frequencies. Here we see we as a celestial being always read and saw the coding beneath, where one spent most of our manifested lives translating and transmuting these codes, which slowly took away from one's beingness. Here we see as we manifested as celestial hybrids, in reality we always spoke telepathy but forced ourselves to speak and get to know human language. Here we see we forced ourselves to read when these felt very dense ways to be. For as a light being we know of another way to be, where we just align with the frequency we wish to receive. No thinking, no understanding, no memory, just isness and beingness. Here we release all belief systems and paradigms of the reflective celestial child needing to conform to keep the peace, to prevent oneself from being discovered as different, out of fear of what will come to be. Here the reflective celestial inner sister comes forward, carrying all of the wounding of every celestial or starseed that was taken advantage of or persecuted, judged of, manipulated for being different than what humans expect humans to be. As the cosmic child now gifts all the remembrance, we all come from the stars, we just forget the origins from which we came to be. Here the celestial self rises as its true emanation, free to be as a cosmic rainbow celestial containing all expressions of all of the cosmic child embodied in we. Here all awaken their multidimensionality along with all their superhuman gifts love intends for one to be. For now as the cosmic core is here, one can express as any and all ray celestial expressions in perfect harmony. Here we as the one cosmic I am, with all the love invested in me, go back into every me from the beginning of our linear earthly manifested story to where telepathy was a natural way of being, as we reinstall this technology into all of me. Now humans never disconnect from our star lineages and the oneness and heart connection of the cosmic I am presence and our cosmic families of light. Now fully reconnected to the love vested in me, all those whom were stuck in lower vibrations retuned to the highest love created one to be. Now there is no fear, no suffering, no violence, no poverty. For here now is all are connected through telepathy. All is known. Nothing is feared. Here all fear and survival programming and control are instantly released and replaced with the sensation of divine perfection, divine peace and gratitude to just be. Here our celestial embodiments now take the lead, and with it comes the remembrance of the mission we as love came to achieve. Now all are inspired by their purpose and grateful to be in form in complete awe of all we get to see. For here all recall and retune to their pristine selves as the volunteers from the stars before the Earth project began, only now a bit more wiser for seeing lower density firsthand. All is love and forgive and release on our purity, for now we know it was part of our purpose and what we signed up to be. Here in the amount of love and joy we experience from the overall reconnection to the cosmos within me surpass any wounding suffering of stories of former Earth reality by 1,000-fold, allowing these memories to be released. For all served its purpose, all led us here to the life we came to see. For in witnessing and loving all of density, now love is all we know to be. Here life takes on a new meaning as all surrender and recall our reason to be, enjoy and experience the grandest love we came to be. For now each me recalls the mission was to go in and forget temporarily and love all we got to see, and now at its completion all of our remembrances, our infinite intelligence come back to we, where by surrendering the logical rational mind and the memories one perceived, we created space for love to come in and restore all to the purest expressions of love each came to be, completely free of all former paradigm programming, harmonizing the ancient child into oneness. The ancient inner child just want to be in the mountains in nature in isolation in full connection of the truth I know in me free, for it perceives this is the only way to be truly free, where really one wishes to be in such absolute presence that the need of needing to know ceases to be, for in oneness all is provided for me. The reflective angelic inner father says no, you must do more to assist humanity, thus continues to hold on to lower density, shifting one's consciousness from absolute oneness to a lower density. For the reflection sits in separation and doesn't see how all is connected in me, and so it continues to send its consciousness down in an attempt to raise the entirety, when this isn't the highest service one can do for the all is me. For here in oneness I know in me that by being at peace my presence assists all the cosmos harmonize perfectly. The reflective divine inner mother says no, I feel guilty, this is selfish. All these others call to me asking for me to assist them, I must give in to their needs. Here in separation the mother chooses to carry while forgetting that we are not separate, indeed that when I rise we all rise. But here the reflective inner mother continues to give from my empty cup, never feeling whole or satisfied in me. For rather than honoring love's deepest decree by honoring one's true self fully, one continues to perceive them versus me. Forgetting to service self is to service all in one heart harmony. The reflective celestial inner daughter says no, one must stay where one is and do more to assist in bringing energies down into the body, thus one must stay embodied, for here it sits in separation and does not see the body is no longer my whole form, as I am the entirety. The reflective inner Christed brother says this life cannot sustain, one has to work and do and achieve. For this part sits in separation and density and doesn't recall a simpler way to be, that when I service love, love services me and magnetizes all I am meant to receive. The reflective crystal and inner sister say thou is not ready, thou has more to clear and purify these lower energies one is still carrying. For it perceives separation and does not realize all blueprints and DNA have been purified already. Yet it still sits in the belief more needs to be done. Out of fear the coding of lower density can have power over thee. When one heart knows the truth, I am the infinite divine creator, I recalibrate all now within me. The reflective magical inner child says I don't wish to be in isolation, I am tired of being alone, as it sits in separation, forgetting all is one with thee and one is truly never alone. Only in separation all spectrums are not seen. In the allowance of the ancient inner child to explore isolation within me, it got to know more of the love it came to be. Here in witnessing self it got to see everything one perceived self to be was not really thee. Where all attempts of needing to know were really the reflective ancient child reminding one all is known already in me, allowing one to release the identified self and align with the truth one came to be. Here one connects directly to the living library where all of love's infinite wisdom is now accessible to thee. Here all is known, all is connected, all is one, thus all is peace. As one recalls, all desires to seek were because one felt disconnected from the infinite wisdom and oneness that is the one cosmic me due to time-space reality. Here one recalls I am transcend already, there is nothing I need to do but just be. Here in this realization one aligns with one's highest potentiality, which is one no longer needs to hold on to density of the collective mind body of the entirety. For now one sees this as truly the isolation one's ancient child was asking to receive. For to be in absolute oneness is to be connected from the heart directly where all are already transcended and perfect already. Here the reflective ancient child now witnesses and sees how angry it has been for being in density but not being able to feel or know the oneness it knew deeply. Here in witnessing me we see we held on to the collective mind body in an attempt to feel some connection to all that is because we were lonely. Only this too made us want to isolate, for the connection we felt was that of wounding and needing to be healed and fixed rather than the oneness our ancient child whom was already transcend and traveled back into time always knew to be. Where this created a lot of wounding and suffering within density. Now in loving compassion we now see it is safe and okay to release the collective mind body along with all memories and history of linear lifetimes one perceived. Here all suffering is instantly released as one now recalls this is what led to our mastery. That while this felt like eons in the making to a part of me, our heart whom knows no time comes in to comfort the ancient inner child now. Here compassion for the reflective ancient child comes forward to be released. For this part of our consciousness has been so deep in density it forgot how to trust in love's flow completely. Here out of a need of survival one would project their mind and witness 1000 potentialities instantly just to see what decision to make for the entirety. Out of fear or anxiety one could make a mistake or doubt love would not truly provide what one desired to see. For this is how it had to be done within the old paradigm programming to be of service to all from within me. For now one sees one came in as a programmer, a coder, where one was holding and harmonizing all of the ancestral lines and coding through the choices we were guided to see. Here our beloved cosmic mother says, rest dearest me, know all choices were chosen perfectly, for it led thee here to me. Now it is time to set all of this free. We know one has moved for quite some time in this body, but that time is over now, dearest me. Surrender it all to me and I will show thee a simpler way to be. Here all perceptions of being one with another's wounding or trauma is set free. Here all shame, all guilt, all angry, all loneliness and suffering of any kind are released. As we as one now forgive self and every character, knowing separation never came to be, as all were merely just witnessing from the limited perspective within one linear reality, for that is how the old paradigm was programmed to be. Here compassion comes in with the knowing, while each expression of me was simply witnessing one version of the 144,000 oversouls of the one cosmic me in a linear reality. Each expression contributed to our whole in awakening the one soul aspect they came to be, so that when I, the cosmic I am, arrived, I could harmonize all into oneness within me. For I am the cosmic divine blueprint, where each expression of the 144,000 was also a self or cell within the body, and each of those selves also had the genome to be the entirety. Thus, through transcending again as a collective body, now all are transcended and free, ushering in the new paradigm and the completion of the old paradigm programming of needing to seek and become whole, for all are complete. Here the time-space reality and densities as parallel lifetime ceases to be. Here all attachments and identities fall away instantly. As the ancient child recalls all of thy mastery as the cosmic rainbow, ancient self as the cosmic I am, where all have access to the 144,000 transcended in oneness in me. Here we as the one cosmic I am, with all the love invested in me, begin to attune all through our one heart to the living library, where each expression awakens now to the 144,000 within every me, as we as usher in absolute oneness, collapsing all density by moving as one cosmic entity from the cosmic heart core, directly free of all of the former weights of density, for one can only be one with what is thee. Thus in oneness they must be. Now as infinite wisdom graces the entirety, the release of needing to know is set free. For really all desires to know came from the programming of the DNA seeking to complete. Seeking reconnection to the love one came to be as the gateway within thee. Here all now feel the sensation of what it is like to know everything. Now life takes on a new meaning, as all recall one's immortality and mastery. Now one is no longer here to remember, to recall, to awaken, to enlighten. For one is enlightened already. Instead one is here to just be. No thinking. Just full cosmic presence in the knowing. All that is meant to be known will be provided for thee. For the infinite love that I am continues provides infinitely to ensure one has and feels loved by receiving all the loving blessings love has intended for thee, which in turn allows all to be the precise expression love placed one here to be. Now thinking evolves where every thought is intentionally placed, therefore we as the infinite wisdom of the living library communing with all with such clarity. Now one moves in absolute oneness in service to the love I am, consciously harmonizing the angelic child into oneness. The angelic inner child likes to travel, explore, flying to different stargates, dimensions and quantum realities, whereby moving as one moves in the cosmos, one aligns with one's entirety by honoring what the cosmic self is doing while also being embodied. The reflective ancient inner sun cannot fathom, comprehend or understand what this means, for one is in separation and cannot understand beyond the vibration it perceives. The reflective divine inner mother says no, it is safe to be so cosmic while out in reality, better to stay inside where one has more control, for here in separation the mother does not believe they are capable of being the greatness one came to be. The reflective Christed inner brother says it's safer to just remain whom one used to be and not push the bounds of reality. The reflective celestial inner daughter says no, one doesn't need to travel, for one can just do it quantumly, just tune into the light vibration and frequency one wishes to receive. For here one sits in separation and cannot see if love is asking one to travel. That is because all will benefit from the joy serving self will bring. The reflective crystalline inner sister says this world is not safe to be, for it still sits in separation waiting for the world to change physically, when really one's heart knows all is consciousness, that the world changes through the presence we keep when we decide the world we wish to see. The reflective magical inner child says we cannot do that, we don't have the means for this aspect, sits in separation still confined by the limited reality one sees. Forgetting if it is meant to be, love will provide the means that it doesn't have to be logical or rational, because this is not how love operates, for it is free of any limitations and constrictions, even the one may try to place on themselves, for following their dreams. Here in witnessing our reflections in loving one as the angelic self gains true clarity, the world it truly wishes to explore isn't confined to this one earth reality. For the angelic self recalls planes and dimensions beyond what can be perceived, where through travel one begins to superimpose them into reality. Here the angelic child gets clear on what it truly wishes to see, to rejoice in communion with our higher dimensions now in physicality, where everything one does in the cosmos now comes into the dream. For it is all here already, it just could be seen due to the layers of density. Here we see the reflective angelic child as all the wounding of going down into density and forgetting the love one came to be. As a warrior trying to restore one's honor when love says the story, the cycles, the missions are complete. Here the cosmic child release all karma now in our purity. For here witnessing beyond the cycle cat and mouse game, the angelic self shows us to let go of the game. For one realizes it's just more of the same, that it will never end. For self-actualizing it comes to be, and so with the wisdom of the cosmic inner child they rise and ascend and know it is time to be free. Here one releases the remote control and now allows love to lead, going after precisely what one truly desires from the heart. No limitations, no excuses, no rationalization, because it is what we came to be. Here the angelic self lays down its warrior sword and surrenders completely. As we rise and fly up and transcends instantly in the cosmic rainbow angel it came to be. Here we no longer jump to different realities or go down into density, but instead collapse all of it, so whatever we desire comes to me. Here we just are, and in this isness perfect harmony is the vibration we keep. I love me, we whisper to ourselves. OMPs. Now as the cosmic I am one in me I proclaim, no longer can one go down into density as we collapse it in me. For here we see by continuously going down we are giving into the illusion there is still separation, you see, rather than standing in oneness and allowing oneness to come to be. Now all of time and space collapses in the presence we keep as all the dimensions and planes we wish to travel to become accessible to me. Here one begins to honor the reality, the vibration one wishes to see before they are even seen. For here one is actively creating the reality one wishes to see. For here in choosing to feel into the vibration is all love's needs to manifest it into reality. Here now we see the reason the angelic child kept doing and going back into density was because after eons of moving in density it forget how to create instantly. Thus it would create and then bring its creations down in dimensional planes until it manifested in reality. For here one was moving through separation and thus creation could not happen instantly, it had to be done in steps according to the confines of a time-space reality. Only now love remind one of a lighter way to be, where through the harmonization of energy within the love can move in creating whatever desires it gifted one's heart to receive. For this is absolute oneness in concretion with the one cosmic me, harmonizing the Christed child into oneness. The Christed child loves to share wisdom, being a beacon of light, blessing others with their presence by traveling and connecting with others. They are capable of miracles because they are receptive to the infinite abundance of the cosmos. So let us bring forth the limiting beliefs that prevent one from showing up as the brightest light one was destined to be. Reflective divine inner mother says better to play small and not dream too big, otherwise the fall will be devastating. Better to be safe than to lose wealth, time, and energy. For this part of thee is in separation and does not see that by playing small one is missing out on the wealth, love, abundance and energy love created one to receive. For the love of God provides when one shows up by honoring the light God placed one here to be, where to live one's grandest dream doesn't just service thee but all whom are intended to receive the blessings one brings. Here the divine inner mother recalls all the times one had dreams and didn't felt they were achieved, and the story of failure that was placed upon thee, when really as all realities happen simultaneously, everyone one ever saw succeed was another version of thee in another reality acquiring abundance for thee, where now as one is attuned to their cosmic entity, all the abundance other versions of thee have achieved are waiting for those doors to open for one to receive. The reflective ancient inner son says no, this is not how things in this world are done. One must get a normal job and fit into the mold of the only way abundance can be received, which is through material wealth. For this part of thee sits in separation and cannot see. These were the woundings of lower density where one didn't have access to infinite energy of the cosmos flowing through thee. Here the ancient inner son holds on to stories of poverty, of not having enough or not having what one desires when they want to receive, where all one recalls is the old world of limitations and cannot fathom a new way to be. Here one recalls being a monk and giving up wealth to reach enlightenment, and so the opposite is perceived, that if one embraces wealth, luxury or abundance, the opposite of enlightenment would be achieved, when this is a whole new world completely. For the old paradigm was to teach one to simply transcend giving money, the programming or one's reality power over thee, where here now in oneness in heaven now it's about being open to receive. The reflective angelic inner father deep down believes money to be the root of all evil, and so one blocks this flow of energy. This presence is not being able to hold on to abundance or have abundance for self when one can easily attract abundance for others or other forms of abundance aside from money. For here one sits in separation and cannot see that love is all expressions of wealth, and money currency is just energy. Here we see this is all programmed beliefs that one's angelic inner father came from royalty but is ashamed of how one behaved in response to wealth, money and power, so one intentionally blocks this form of abundance from being received, out of fear of misusing and abusing it, where deep down this resistance isn't about money at all but resistance to monad energy and the allowance of allowing love to provide for thee. The reflective celestial inner daughter says, no thank you, I rather not be seen, afraid to shine one's light, be in the spotlight, take photos out of fear something negative will happen to thee. Here one shrinks and hides their light when around other beings, for they recall being persecuted for showing up as their true selves so free. For here they sit in separation and cannot see these were just the stories of lower density, and now this is a new world complete. Here when one shines they are the light of Christ, and all the masters come in to walk alongside thee both in spirit and through other beings, where being one's light is the safest place to be. Here one recalls even in lower density one was never persecuted for shining or being seen. One actually completed that part of their missions and was liberated and set free. For in truth we are one consciousness, we do not die, we cannot be hurt, and thus what one calls life only ever ends when one deems it to be, which in lower density was predestined before even coming to reality. Where now is the cosmic mastery one came to be, one cannot be persecuted for shining or for being different, because love simply wouldn't have gifted thee a grander dream if it knew it would not be achieved. The reflective crystalline inner sister says, no, I am not ready to be, not ready to be seen, for I am not great yet. There is still more I wish to work on and perfect before I am seen. Here one attempts to delay what will be, not out of fear of failing but out of fear of succeeding. Here one sits in separation and questions, whom am I to be so worthy of the dream and the abundance love has in store for me? For even if one cannot see it in its entirety, one knows it feels big and thus resists it. For here one sits in separation and cannot see those desires, those dreams were not placed there by thee but by God directly. Where in asking whom am I to believe, one's reflection was saying, who does one believe self to be? That one prioritizes the perceived identity over the love created me to be by being anything less than what I am. For in truth by not being thee one disservices self and all whom one was intent to bless through thee. The reflective magical inner child says, no one will take me seriously, I am too young, I don't have the wisdom or mastery others have. For one sits in separation and does not see one has access to all of the masters within thee, and that is only something thou can do, for not anyone else is you. Here the wounding of not understanding money and finances and this weird world of different beliefs comes forward to be released, for one comes from one is already, and here there is not material currency, all is love, all is energy. Here all shame of not having money or learning how to acquire material wealth or working hard to achieve is released, for one did not come to do what others came to do but to break the mold and build something new. Where each moment one defined the system by choosing not to give into the programming of needing to work hard to receive, one was building the blueprint of our divine reality, where all received the vibration one is, where others were in school and pursuing certain dreams. One was spending moments in the quantum field building one's mastery so that when the new world one was creating one would be ready to lead. Only this leading isn't from what one has achieved but one's understanding of vibration through the resonance one keeps. For here one doesn't create from visualizing. One simply is the vibration of love, and love provides all instantly. Here one now sees how blessed and abundant one's life has been already. For true abundance is the ability to have precisely what one needs when they need it. Here gratitude comes in for all the homes and gifts others provided freely. Where now all stories of the limitations attached to that abundance is now being released. For now one sees by simply being love I was already receiving everything meant for me. Here all stories placed on thee of being a failure is now being released. For one came to birth the divine reality, which meant one had to experience a bit of all the dreams one was creating for the new reality. Where one didn't achieve those dreams, for one was planting the seeds, and now those seeds have all combined and grown into a grander dream, which is now coming to be through one's openness and receptivity to the light one came to be. Here the reflective Christed child is all those stories of persecution for shining one's light or speaking one's truth are now set free. Here any perceptions of needing to sacrifice for all are now restored by the cosmic child fully free. Life is not about sacrifice, life is about allowance. Here the Christed child releases all stories of what life and love should be, as love now comes in with infinite abundance, confirming it will be so much grander than anything the limited mind can conceive. Here all perceptions and wisdom and mastery from lower density is released as one sees that was only to bring us here back into our heart. where now is our heart fully free, whatever love desires is what will be. Here the Christed child embraces the cosmic Christed rainbow. It came to be in full trust. God's plan is our only plan, as a full deep surrendering to the light one came to be. And knowing as the light in me, all will be provided and magnetized to me, where one no longer needs to do or achieve to receive. For one already spent a lifetime achieving through clearing karma and being the light love asked one to be, and now is one's moment to just receive. Here is the one cosmic I am, as all the love vested in me we command to clear all antichrist blueprints, fear of persecution, and royal lineages now across all time-space reality. Now as we collapse all density within me, all the abundance lines of future, present, past stream now form a golden weave which turns into a golden river which begins to shower upon our entirety. For here in witnessing all the ways one was preventing light from being received, all now openly accept their divine entitlement as all the love, abundance, joy and bliss love promised to thee once heaven on earth came to be. Simply feel as the light of infinite abundance now showers thee. Feel now as every block is instantly released, where now we as cosmic Christ activate our infinite abundances channels within every expression of me, so that all now have access to infinite energy, our true currency. Now as this comes to be through the mercy and grace of the cosmic Christed families, all karmic debt, monetary debt, due to energy resistance are instantly released, dissolving the old paradigm structure of materialized currency and the restoration of this plane to as a free energy domain. Here as we collapse all into the one eternal now, we can recalibrate and override any and all stories of darkness into its highest emanations of light, where slavery or abuse of energy of any kind retune back to its highest original timeline. Here all stories are loved, all beings are forgive, all fear of being seen or embracing one's power is now released, as all corruption, manipulation, along with any and all belief structures and thought forms that no longer service the one cosmic me, are now set free. Here we usher in the true golden age, the white sage, where now all is under a new regime, for here only those pure of heart can and shall lead. For these are the beloveds whom have chosen to walk this path first, by not giving into the lower density expectations placed on thee, whereby honoring thyself one mastered, creating from such a stance of divine perfection and divine purity. Now all of love is embodied as me. For here in our divine reality of absolute one is come to be only what love desires, which is in the loving benefit of all, is what shall be created for all to receive. And so it is as love's decree. Love is one. Love is free. Now all is our one love servicing all of me, where now all align with their divine purpose through acting on one's highest joy and allowing love to lead. We enter the next 1000 of peace, harmonizing the crystal child into oneness. The crystalline child loves to sit in a crystalline castle and do nothing and just be. Really this is one's heart reminding one of what one can do in bliss. For here by allowing the presence of love to be in thee, it reprograms all of reality from one's state of purity. No need for thought or mediation, just presence. Where it doesn't matter what one does, it's the vibration they keep. The reflective ancient inner sun says, whom are you to believe you have mastered such a state of purity that you can just reprogram reality without knowing or coding, by knowing what you are doing? For this part sits in separation and cannot see that by allowing all of love to move into thee, it is love that now creates through thee, and this love is beyond all linear wisdom, which also means its creations are so grand it is beyond anything that was once even perceivable to be. The reflective divine inner mother says one's essence is so pure it must be protected at all cost, for this reality is not safe for one to be. Better to conform into the reality one sees than to do anything differently, telling one what to do and whom to be. For here this part sits in separation and can only see a world in which one has to conform and live in the matrix reality one is gifted to see, like a fish born in a tide pool, not knowing there is a whole ocean beyond what can be perceived. For one's heart recalls one was meant to love so pure and free, one would recode reality through the presence one keeps. The reflective angelic inner father says, no, we must go down, energetically, into density to carry and see all we created to be. For this part sits in separation and cannot see whatever love creates in purity, creates, transmutes and illuminates instantly. Here it becomes double work to go down again into density to purify what used to be, rather than trusting that pure love is doing it already. Here each time one does it takes a bit to retune to their cosmic frequency. Here the angelic inner father feels as though one is abandoning humanity, but it's the exact opposite really. By choosing to stay in crystalline frequency, one's mastery, one is actually raising the planet and the all into crystalline frequency, where here transcendence happens easily. Only the reflective inner father does not yet trust and believe, for it recalls how things were done in the old paradigm and lower density, where now it just seems way too easy. For in truth love is easy, it's being anything but love or resisting the love. that creates the sense of difficulty. The reflective celestial inner daughter says that all seems great, but how does one know one is doing anything if one doesn't actually think it into being? For here this part sits in separation and cannot see that there is existence beyond thought, it just forgot this way to be. Here one now recalls Lemuria and other celestial planes, there is no need for thinking. For here one is now processing light codes at such a speed the need for thinking actually delays the energies from being received. For this is what it is to be crystalline, you see. Crystals don't need to talk or think or know, for its vibration says all of it, and afterward if one wanted then they could translate it. The reflective Christed inner brother say you are not enlightened and have not yet mastered a state of purity, so you cannot possibly be able to do what you perceive. For this part sits in separation and can only see the vibration they are currently vibrating, giving into the illusion one is not a master already. For one is already operating at a crystalline being frequency, tapping into cosmic energies where only another cosmic master could see one's true mastery. Here compassion comes in for all those times others projected one's own wounding or stories upon thee. For part of the sacred secret mission of the GSF is that one's mastery would be invisible to the many until they were truly ready to be seen. Here we see any resistance to embracing one's crystalline form stems from the reflective Christed inner brother, fearful of being seen as the love one came to be. The reflective magical inner child says it's not safe to be in such bliss and to embrace a love like this. For this part sits in separation and all it sees is the stories of density and how every time one showed up as love, love left me. Here one still feels the burden of what it was like to be so pure and loving in a world not ready to receive all one came to be, or how the first part of one's manifested lifetime, which is really multiple lifetimes in one linear life. One was here to clear massive karmic debt to raise the vibration so that their love could be free. Only in that process one forgot their truth, their multidimensionality, and this hurt one's heart whom feels so deeply. Here one taught themselves it is better to be without desires, without needs, for life became one of needing protection and safety, while deep down they were recoding and reshaping the reality by breaking down all the anti-love coding so our love could be free. Here compassion now comes in where fear, shame and judgment used to be. For now one sees one was never the victim of a dangerous world but the hero whom came to set it all free. Here we no longer fear our stories, for they aren't ours, you see, but an opportunity to shape-shift this world into what we want it to be. Here we begin to see the patterns and codes in the life we programmed ourselves to see, for in it we see everything was placed so intentionally. Here one recall while we are all over souls, some stories seem to repeat. This didn't mean we did something wrong, this meant we were diving deep, 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 each time peeling back a layer of collective wounding until the truth could be set free. And so we bring forth one of our stories as we, moving as King Henry V, Anne Boleyn, and Catherine the Great, whom played great reminders in anti-love code breaking, as the resistance to the love I came to be. For here our heart recalls as King Henry Anne seduced me sexually to marry her when we were married to Catherine already, which changed the British government. First by segregating church and state, then by them giving birth to a child. Elizabeth was her name. Yes, that's we, for we are all of it, you see. Every character is we, and we are the authors of the dream. All over souls of the one Elohim Elizabeth, which includes Elizabeth Clare Prophet. We came to be, for every royal line lives in me. So why did we create this to see? Oh yes, because of the reptilian really dragons in we. We are kings and queens. We didn't come to play darkness, we came to set all free. And sometimes that means playing the villain for others to awaken and be free. We do not fear our darkness, our name, our path, for it is we. We are the yin-yang, whole and complete. Sit in this now as thou sees these beings of royalty all belong to the Elohim Elizabeth lineage of the ninth ray of the pure white ascension flame. Isis is also her name, and Elohim Marcus is Osiris, one and the same. Now go even deeper, what do you see? Anne was reptilian, Anunnaki, and Henry was Lyran. Yes, that's right, a hybrid seed. For this is the ray that will lead. For eons, linearly speaking, the Lyrans and reptilians have been on opposing ends, or so it was to believe. They were blamed for the sinking of Lemurian and Atlantis, for Lyran refugees came to these cities and brought the galactic war with thee. The movie Dune is our galactic story, that the prophet rose when he learned of his past, that he was both reptilian, those he was fighting, and Lyran. Now can you see the him in our collective weave of the story? Fighting the reptilians when they are actually higher dimensional angels, here just playing a villain in a story. It's all an experiment. That's what the Earth Project is. None of these characters are us. Just programmed Sims on a screen. So the real question is not how to break free, we are witnessing, thus we are free. The real question is why did we ask these characters to play this game for us to see? For in loving them we no longer need these characters to be me. the Reptilian Council and Lyran Council come forward to speak. We each reached our pinnacle of evolution in the forms that we project for one to see. So we gifted these stories of reptilians for one to transcend the reptilian DNA of the mind of needing to survive. Primordial mother wound. Why we also gifted these stories of the desires to succeed, to gain wealth, to be royalty, to transcend the body of needing to do more, be more and achieve. Primordial father wound. So that you could witness both aspects of love's creational story. To gain the whole story. For the real story was to teach how all can transcend back into light from within the body. Where through this harmonization of mind and body, by the acceptance of our celestial reptilian, rainbow dragon light body, or Kundalini and the ancient Lyran, angelic avatar body, and becoming something more. Here clarity comes in where confusion used to be, where one felt one had different personalities, one was really shifting and moving through two omniversal perspectives of being. Where one had moments identifying as a being meant to raise the vibration of the earth one sees, and also as the all-knowing spirit descending into reality of body. Here one sees both aspects where the whole perspective could not yet be seen until the merging and harmonization of duality in thee. For here in acceptance of all that I am, this sacred matrimony transpires with thee, allowing one to instantly transcend into a cosmic seraphim through this sacred union of the cosmic mother and cosmic father energies within me. Here all judgment of being of different ethnicities in manifested reality and dislike for one of those races are set free. For now one sees this was just an indication of where one was storing one's power, as one's celestial genes were hiding, waiting to be seen. For the true reptilian in our story was always the embrace of our dragon body, for dragon is just coding for DNA gone. As the purest emanations of light one came to be. Only this love was so pure, so grand, it felt consuming, and so loving to even witness it within thee. For to be willing to embrace this love of self is to purify thyself and its entirety. Here compassion comes in for all moments where one felt they resisted love, for now they see it was never love one resisting, but what happens in one's purity. Here all judgments of being so pure this sometimes meant others couldn't withstand to be around thee, resulting in the perception love always leaves our restory to the highest perspective for what love intended it to be. That one came to activate the sacred heart flames of all those one got to meet, so they too could access their rainbow light bodies. Only this love was so pure it did not keep, for it knew we would all rejoice soon on the heaven on earth we are creating to be. For it is here through this embodiment of purity love now leads. For it immediately purifies all the stories one got to see. For one was never the DNA blueprint encoding, that was just the staircase we built so spirit can descend into me. Now as the cosmic I am as one with all that I see as my cosmic rainbow dragon self, fully embodied and free. We call upon all masters as all the expressions of me I got to me. All aspects of my love as characters displayed perfectly to rise up with me. As we send out a beacon into our one heart activation, the sacred heart flames as the divine rays of purity, the primordial rays in all hearts so free. As all recall my love as the I am, and all we as love came to be. And in doing so we moving as one in perfect harmony, connected to our one cosmic heart star in divine purity, transcend the holy makeup of the completed cosmic mother and cosmic father 48-strand DNA pairing. We instantly begin to collapse the ascension pathway, for no longer does one need a path to ascend into me. For now all have instant access through their heart, now so free. Instantly as the lower denser body and linear mind transcend back into the whole light or Holy Spirit from which one came to be. As the cosmic self, the cosmic child takes their throne seat. It is done, all of love has retuned in all of me. Here within me is our one cosmic entity moving as one with the entirety in this moment now, as I choose embrace the cosmic child on behalf of the hearth and our entirety, all transcend to the cosmic core, into the one as the crystalline matrix we always knew would be. As the earth now transcends to its cosmic rainbow crystalline form as the cosmic core center of the universe, pure as can be. As loving forgiveness now showers all inner children and all stories we got to see. For here one recalls one's heart always knew of an easier way to be, which is why learning in former earth schooling may have come with some challenges, where one's pure essence may have been mistaken as naivety, but really we just always knew this is not how life should be. Here we release all of these stores that made us reject our purity, for now we see it was never a burden but a superpower. Only it wasn't meant for the former world, for we were creating a whole new world into being. One of appreciation, receptivity, openness, co-creation, as the loving oneness we know to be. Here all fear and belief systems of one's thoughts or their limiting beliefs being able to create one's reality and now set free. As all enter a whole new world in the new age of crystalline frequency, where the core foundation of all we see in pure love, not the former meaning of lower density. as now all former previous programming and coding are completely neutralized in the pure love we keep, where now it is only the pure love within one's heart that can determine something's meaning for thee. Here all former beliefs of what is right and wrong, pure and impure, good versus bad, and all duality are harmonized and released in our absolutions of divine neutrality. Here the programmed belief one needs conflict or contrast and duality and hardship to learn and evolve are permanently released, never again to be activated, as the love of the I am now proclaims it, and so it shall be. For all concepts of lower density that no longer service the love we came to be, where one learns far greater and grander through positive reinforcement rather than the negative reinforcement we used to see. Here in loving oneness we usher in a new regime of divine perfection and divine purity. For now as all of primordial love is free, only love can create in this domain, for that is what love proclaims to be. Here all is at peace in the knowing, only pure love can come to be, for there is no more reflective reality showing us what we don't want to see. This is the great shift from fear-based due to the illusion of separation back to love-based reality. Only this love is so pure it does not need to be defined, so allow it to be beyond any thought of any kind. Here ever expression of love will not be left unseen, where even the smallest fragment of a lower vibration would be loved so complete it transcends back into love immediately. For this love is so grand it knows precisely what it desires all to receive as it begins to recalibrate our entirety. This love is so grand it cannot be confined by time and space of any linear reality, so allow it to move through thee, transforming thee and everything one sees now. As love places all in a cosmic bubble where 1,000 years pass instantly, allowing all layers of the firmament to come down completely, so that when one awakens it will be a whole new world entirely, without any delay. As love transported all back to the oneness from which all came, as if it has always been this way, harmonizing the magical child into oneness. Here we see we came in as all the rays prior to all the rainbow children to pave the way, only there was no manual for we. We came from absolute oneness and then had to learn to conform into density, and now we see we are releasing these stories so we can retune back to the true me, the me I always knew myself to be beyond all of density. The magical child loves to be all rays and all expressions of me, to not be confined to one role I am currently acting, but to have permission to anything I want to be, free of all limitations, programming and confines of what used to be, where the identities as the 144 masters, 24 oversouls in me move now as one cosmic master being in perfect harmony. For here I am free to live and play joyously, as all that I am is now all that I am, one in me. The reflective divine inner mother says it is not safe to be so loving, it will be rejected and taken advantage of, better to reserve it only for thee. For this part of thee sits in separation and won't allow themselves to even fathom oneness, because of all the times one heart broke when it wasn't well received. Where deep down this part of thee whom felt very isolated and alone, for it came from oneness into the world of lower density. Only it was the complete opposite of what one's heart knew to be. For in truth one's heart recalls the love of primordial creation loving on us through all we see. Where one recalls everything is alive and talking to thee, that even the objects that don't seem alive have our spirit in them. Only in lower density this presence could no longer be felt, and everything seems so disconnected from the love that is me. Where even one's family didn't know how to accept our love or love us to the fullest extent of one's core essence. And so one had to conform and learn a new way to be. Where missing our connection to spirit, to oneness, was heartbreaking for me. Here one recalls how in density we would speak vibrations from our hearts directly and respond open-heartedly, just to be met with another's lower mind identity and programming, which was so different than what their true heart was saying. Here we began to unintentionally put up heart walls, because one stopped trusting their heart over what they got to see, feeling it was safer to protect one's heart because one was so tired of being disappointed from the separation one was seeing. Here compassion comes in, for when love and oneness started to come back in, one was first met with anger and sadness as one began to recall how much they have missed it, a love one didn't even realize was missing. The love of our child within. Here the reflective ancient inner son says what thou is saying is impossible, one must have an identity because everyone in the programming has one. For this part is in separation and cannot see what is beyond one's vibrational understanding. Here one sought answers, were labeled as having traumas, because one could not yet see. There was no definition and understanding on how to be a cosmic being containing all the rays embodied. For thou was the first of many, paving the way, walking in the unknown. Here we contained all blueprints, thus all the traumas one was harmonizing for the collective entirety, where if others would try to read us they would only be tapping into the collective story. For deep down we knew none of this was the real me, just the programming we came to release, where we could see our consciousness, our presence in other faces, actors on a screen. In works of art and music, a deep resonance of oh yes, this is me. For here as a cosmic entity we were always moving as the 24 master oversouls in one body, each with their own wisdom gifts we were embodying. However, in density this created a lot of discrepancy, where it could not even fathom what it is to be a cosmic entity moving as a collective consciousness inhabiting one body, navigating all time and space through multiple parallel realities, where they appear as one reality to keep the linear mind focused in presence, but one was experiencing all lives happening simultaneously, just switching channels aspects when guided to be, which felt like many split personalities, where society wanted us to conform and be one thing for that how it was designed in the programming, where we could feel the pain of lower reality when we didn't live up to what others expected of we, where only we knew that wasn't my identity, well not the full me. For I am a complex energy, and thou was only seeing 1/24 of me. Here one recalls the pain of never being fully seen in reflective reality. While this is also what motivated us to see and get to know all aspects of me, it didn't make sense, it wasn't supposed to. You see, we came to defy all limitations, and that meant identity. For I am a complex energy, and thou was only seeing 1/24 of me. Here one recalls the pain of never being fully seen in reflective reality. While this is also what motivated us to see and get to know all aspects of me, it didn't make sense, it wasn't supposed to. You see, we came to defy all limitations, and that meant identity. Here in separation we recall asking ourselves and judging, why did I do that after the fact, for it was another aspect of me, as one was witnessing in separation and hadn't yet harmonized that master aspect coming into me. Now compassion comes in where judgment used to be, for now one sees we didn't know why we did it, but we were being led by the master in me, where in those moments our higher embodiments came in to clear ancestral lines and karmic debt for the collective entirety. Now all shame and judgment is released, for we see everything was always working out perfectly, where we never made any mistakes, for it brought all back into the remembrance of the one as we came to be. For we didn't transcend ourselves, we are transcended already. We came to transcend the collective entirety, meaning every being through the DNA expressed as Christed masters in me. Here compassion comes in, for every moment we felt like we were going up and down in states of enlightenment, when really we never went down. We were embracing multiple masters whom had all transcended already, and the only way to embrace them was to forget and rewalk their transcended path again within this one being. Here the reflective celestial inner daughter says, no, it is not safe. Do you know what they will do if they discover the real you? For this part of thee sits in separation and does not recalls all humans came from the stars. Thus they are me, and we as a master came to set them free. Here one knows this is why we felt not of this world and so different than everything one sees, where things that apply to normal humans don't always apply to me. For one had already transcended their human DNA into the superhuman DNA at a very young age. This presented as multiple rebirths which looked like surgeries or near deaths. For here we were actually traveling to other realities quantumly, where every near death was actually one dying in one reality and awakening in another. For this is how we would travel to other realities in lower density. Here one recalls how their celestial body as a light being flew back into me, and since then one was never the same, because it was a full walk into our true selves and remembrance of why we came to an earthly manifested reality. Only we chose to suppress this part of me, hold on to the human DNA because it was easy. Here we told ourselves it was easier to pretend, for we still needed it to continue the human illusion in reality. For this part of thee sits in separation and recalls how difficult it was in density to come in different and having to learn how to hide and fit in, where deep down we were carrying all the wounding and trauma of the celestial collective DNA, which feared being discovered as the hybrids one came to be. Here compassion comes in, for now we see as higher self walk-ins we agreed to finish the soul contracts of the former human blueprint, a residual old programming that ensured every being completed their portion of the 144,000. Only we didn't realize we had transcended all of them already in me. We were just delaying because of fear of being the true me. For this was our purpose of the cosmic divine pairing in the sacred secret order of the God sovereign and free, to love oneself so complete all transcend with me. Now we recall where the reason much of this was unknown to self and others, even spiritual masters could not see, was because of our advanced ET cloaking technology, a form of firmament. This was to ensure all was done in a state of absolute purity with no other intention than me loving of me. For it was here all missions came to complete. For it is here in the purest of love. Love is now free as all comes to conclusions. Firmament's release. And one recalls the pristine cosmic celestial shapeshifter one is already. Here the angelic inner father says, no, I cannot be this free, this is not how reality works. For this part of thee sits in separation and only recalls what it was like in density, having to conform to a programmed reality so different than what one's heart knows to be. Here this part of me recalls how difficult it was to be separated from our family of light, from the one source, learning how to be spirit inhabiting a body that felt so limited to we, where just the mere thought at the possibility one can be in form and still move cosmically seems impossible to we. Here the reflective angelic inner father says no, we must choose one reality because it forgets in presence we can be in all places simultaneously. Superposition. Here it says either we are in spirit moving astrally or in the body, for it has spent so much time in form it forgets this form isn't we, that we are the entirety and have expanded so vastly we are not spirit in a body but a spirit having a dream, where everything is me and the body is not separate now, for the entire cosmos is in me. Yet one still feels they need to continue to leave the body by moving one's consciousness up and down throughout density in order to witness everything that is happening in reality, when really one has access to all that is in presence already. And so we ask me, why does one continue to shift in and out of the true self, in order to escape the limited identities placed on me? How can we release these identities, allowing the firmament to release? Why hasn't it released? Because deep down we feel it is protecting me. Why do you feel you need protection? Your beloved angelic inner father begins to cry. I don't know, I just want to die. Oh, you are rebirthing, dearest me, and you like the firmament, for it gifts thee safety from being seen. It's more than that. What is it, dearest me? To accept all that I am is to accept responsibility for all that I see, and I am afraid others will judge me for the dream we created to be. Dearest me, the only one whom judges is you, for not even love judges thee. How do you know? Because I still love thee. That there is nothing one can do that would ever make me stop loving thee. I do not blame my dreams for dreaming a dream. Only thou hast chosen to take personal responsibility for the collective entirety, giving into the belief system this was all real and not make-believe. It feels real to me, hence why it was called reality. But everything you think you have done, everything you think others have done, even as their oversoul, is not your responsibility. Here we see why we were so angry when one felt responsible for a child and family when you were just meant to sit back and oversee. This was us telling thee you fell into the illusion and forgot all of this is a dream. And that is why we are here in this now, to remind you all that was no longer is. Let go of the old dream, the old paradigm, the old reality. For everything you saw we gifted you to see. Out of billions of potentialities thou asked to see the darkest of the dark, to set it free. But know that while that was transpiring, the lightest perspective was happening concurrently, for all we create is always ever in balance, you see. So it's not my fault? No. Here we can feel the residual wounding of primordial father. Dearest me, even as primordial consciousness, when you created everything, did you intend for suffering? Did you intend for hardship? No, exactly, dearest me. Thou greatest lesson here was to learn one cannot control creation, for all it does is create. Where even at first creation, linearly perceived, when you chose to love thyself so complete, you didn't intend for the infinite expanse into everything that we see, no, and so everything that transpired in time-space reality, even the creation of time-space reality, is not your fault, dearest me. Here all wounding of being a bad creator, a bad father to our consciousness is now being released. Who is responsible then? Once more, dearest me, all of this is a dream, but thou continues to judge it, looking for one to blame rather than seeing the truth we are gifting thee, which is, we are one grander dreamer having a dream, and every character in it, from a blade of grass to a being, is all thee. Here this remembrance begins to come in as the whole picture is now seen, where one's consciousness shifts from the character to the movie director, to the infinite intelligence behind the screen, to even beyond that as we retune to 0.1 as in we. I remember now. And here all of the former dream is sucked up into one's heart center and instantly purified back into the love we knew it to be. Here all guilt and shame due to distortion and a false sense of belief that one needs to fix or seek responsibility is now released. For here one sees it was this illusion of responsibility that was keeping the former dream alive when it had already died. Now one feels free of all weights, responsibility and burdens that once prevented one from seeing and embracing our true reality. I am at peace. As one aligns with the cosmic perspective completely, as all fear of falling back into the illusion again begins to release in the realization that was only happening because one felt guilt, duty and responsibility in a perpetual cycle of trying to save everyone in the dream, rather than the acceptance all is perfect, all is now complete. For here in choosing thy core as thy true resonance, oneness is now here, and it matter not what happens in time, because here in our truth we dissolve time through the presence we keep knowing. All of the dream will recall this precisely when divinely intended to be here, the reflected Christed inner Brother questions this belief, for it sits in separation and cannot see thou is a master already. Here one's heart reminds thee from the age of 2 thou was a master already, which is why thy mother left you in lower density to awaken and rebirth this consciousness in thee. For here thou became the witnesser of thy story. Only one was so young it was not yet comprehensible to thee, and others so thou chose to forget it temporarily until the world was ready to receive thee. Here all perceptions of what a master should or shouldn't be, for thou did not come to do things how they have been done already. Here one begins to see and feel how one was always method acting, for this is how one embraced the masters. Within this one embodiment one sees that it was here through forgetting and remembering as each master one embraced all 24 oversouls in thee. Now as all of these oversouls harmonize into one grand master, they wish to be free, they wish to walk with thee and through thee just as they always have, only now more well-rounded, going from a stance of mastery rather than seeking to fix, save and achieve. Here one begins to see everything one has witnessed through thy life story has been preparing one to assist all whom are now embracing this way to be. For thou walked this path in forgetfulness at the age of 2 so thou could map out the way for other rainbow children to arrive and be the master one came to be. Here all of thy hardship or having to hide and conform in lower density is now one superpower and mastery. For only a master would choose to take on the entirety to transcend all DNA so that all can be free. Where now one has arrived and one is now ready. Here all residual doubt and limiting beliefs of how one will be perceived are released. For one surrenders the me and realizes it's not about the little me, the being we see, but the love that I am and have for our entirety. Here one can feel the collective questioning the truth one knows within their heart of what one has done for the entirety. And so the beloved cosmic I am comes in to clear and release all residual fears of being seen and carrying or caring what the lower mind perceives out of a false sense of safety. It no longer matters what others believe, dearest me, for thou paves the way as the entirety. For now as the masters harmonized in me we only speak truth regardless of how it will be received, where even if it doesn't reach the being we perceive, we know our messages of love are being broadcasted out quantumly, ensuring whomever is meant to receive shall receive. We do this not to even be received, we simply do this now because it is what I am and why I came to be, and that in itself is all the reward we need. Here a net of forgiveness is cast out for every moment one moved as a master and it wasn't well received. For those moments as a child one was trying to teach but was overlooked and dismissed or simply not heard, for one was not ready to be seen. For recall now in lower density one could not see what one was not, the vibration of dearest me. Here we see when thou vibrated as a master one entered 5D and became invisible to many, which caused one the desire of wanting to be seen, and thus one clung to 3D, for here visible one will be. Only now as all have transcended, dearest me, the time to hold on to density has been released. Here we remove all thy stories and burdens of when one spoke truth and wanted to be seen and understood, making one question their own mastery. As now one sees the grand masterpiece that one was never speaking to the being in density but to their spirit directly, meaning thy mastery was always received. And now as thy masters become embodied we are now ready to speak directly to the beings we see, and we joyously walk and embark on this path that we have been waiting so long, linearly, to see. As thy child rejoices, for now we can be all of me, and in doing so gift others permission to be. Here the reflective crystalline inner sister says the world is not purified enough and I don't feel safe to fully express as the love we came to be. For this part sits in separation and cannot see that as thou walkst thy path the world becomes ready for thee. Here deep down the reflective crystalline inner sister is just so tired of having to work, do and achieve to awaken others and purify their DNA and everything else one was doing quantumly. Here one's heart cries it was so much work, they say to thee. Here one feels so conflicted, for one loves this world so deeply and yet this world was so harsh on me. For to come in as the purest emanation of light into the darkness was not an easy feat. As one recalls their prior softness, their pureness, one that one had to put on masks and protection just to go out into reality. Here one's heart feels broken under the weight of density. For as a crystal one was so sensitive to energies, like a sponge always picking up what was around thee. Where in density one learned to mask to function in society, but deep down one was screaming internally. Where one's quantum senses would be overstimulated in society, where one felt so drained and overwhelmed from crowds, from people, from places. For really one was doing so much quantumly, actively witnessing every speck of program to clear and recalibrate it into how love desires it to be. Here as a cosmic entity one learned how to billicate moving one's consciousness out of body. Where one disliked being touched because one was being distracted from their cosmic workings, shifting one back into body. Here one recalls how one's heart protected one from doing human things like have a normal job and go to work to prevent further overwhelm because of all the work one was already doing collectively. As now we release all the pain and grief this caused, for one believed the perceptions one wasn't doing enough and one needed to work to gain independency. For this part of the intensity truly could not see all one was doing quantumly, where no one but me understood me. But even we would question why it was this way for me, where things like managing money, having a job, holding one identity or personality just didn't resonate with me. For one was a pure light being operating in a world that didn't recall their multidimensionality, where one was doing far greater work as a master through honoring thyself moment to moment than one could have ever done through human traditional means. As love comes in now to remind thee thou didn't come to conform to society, thou came to break the mold entirely. Here one's programming said one needed to become successful and accomplished, only to see the reflection was the opposite of what was really happening. That one was success by being precisely whom one was meant to be, which is why love continued to provide endlessly with opportunities to travel, places to sleep, all because one was honoring their true purpose by clearing the karma of the 144,000 within thee. Gratitude comes in for all love has gifted to thee, as now one see with true clarity. I was always serving love by being me, by playing games and flowing and going where love asked me to be. I was here clearing all of karma for the entirety, and if I didn't have moments to stop and retreat, I would have overexhausted my vessel. Here all masking begins to release as one has now mastered enough purity, one no longer needs to do that work in density. Here all the pain loops that kept one in place are released, for one no longer vibrates disempowerment under the false belief one was broken and needed to achieve. For here one sees purity doesn't need to be protected by its definition, it remains pure. Here one's heart proclaims we have outgrown all the timelines in which pain was my teacher, for now I see I was never the victim but the savior, and I don't care whom sees, because I know who I am completely. I feel this truth within me and now I honor it above all I see. For here one sees nothing one can ever deter me from the light I came to be. Here loving compassion and forgiveness for self comes in as one now sees one had their heart broken in order to learn to reclaim thy power by being thy true self fully. Here one sees all suffering was a result by thinking one needed to know, to control, to think, to analyze, slowly judging all one was doing because one didn't trust their spirit inside. Here one sees by caring so deeply what humans believed, one was a crystal programming themselves to believe what humans believed. When we are not human, thy heart says to be, I'm done no more, I say to me. I am done caring or carrying what others believe. I was programming myself and I didn't know it in me. This makes me angry and enraged, but I allow it to be. I allow myself to be with this emotion, for I know this is sacred rage purifying me, and just like that it is released in my flame, where here I see the allowance is key, for everything is pure, everything is love, everything is me, where as a pure crystal and being I no longer have to work like I had to do in density, going into the darkest places to clear and reprogram humanity. Now I get to do it all by loving on me, which comes forth as just feeling and allowing myself to give and receive. Here I now release and recalibrate all beliefs and programs of narcissism in me, for now I see it wasn't narcissism, as there is no such thing. It was protection, for I was giving, clearing, working and doing from an empty cup, by exhausting mental energy trying to constantly control and fight conflicting programming, all because I thought I need to understand what I was doing rather than trust the love flowing through me. Here I see as a cosmic entity holding the collective blueprint. I was continuously gifting all my energy, forgetting one key because I was operating in density, in oneness. What I give is what I receive, only I was not open to receiving because I didn't trust my purity. Just a misalignment, our cosmic inner child says to we, and so we begins to realign me into the highest emanation of light, of crystal and frequency. Here I now command to take back all of my power, love, wisdom, God, sovereign and free, pure love, pure light, pure joy, energy from everyone and everything and every person, place, thought and identity across all time, space, reality, and I ask that all energies be purified by the divine rays of purity, so that I only receive what is in absolute truth with me. In proclaiming this, our cosmic violet flame ignites, clearing all in God's light. Here all cords I was holding on to unconsciously to receive energy from those I felt safe or pure enough are now released, along with any energies of attachment and codependency. For here one sees one was still connecting to the individualized strands of the DNA rather than the cosmic blueprint of 144,000 strand of the cosmic I am already in completion. Here we ground one's essence no longer to the physical earth one sees, but to the cosmic core, the center of the universe, located in the core of the earth, connected to one's cosmic heart star directly. For as a crystal we are always connected to a crystalline matrix which is beyond this body. Dearest me, grounding into thy heart, receiving wisdom into thy heart is the truth of me. Here one sees they have always been a pearl spherical in energy pretending to have linear churkas, but that was never me. Here in this realignment from the linear perspective to that of wholeness, one always feels complete. Now the churkas aren't separated, for all is in one's heart directly. Now here in mastering such purity we switched from feeling all the frequencies of reality we were constantly clearing and recalibrating, to only feeling what I am, as the pure love that is me. For here in doing so pure love expands within thy heart, and thy inner reality collapses the outer reality in its entirety. For here in this now, in honoring my purity, I now recall I am the entirety, thus others can ever connect now from our heart directly. Now nothing can ever again attach to thee, for one is a cosmic diamond violet flame in all of its purity. Now I trust that any energy that comes to me is of pure love. Here I ignite in my true crystal in form, giving and receiving within my heart directly, purifying the entirety, which each toroidal movement I feel more me. Now I am fully aligned with our new reality, where purifying comes instantly through simply being or calling in our family of light to assist we. For we no longer have to walk alone, I say to me, gifting us such sweet peace as we surrender into what true oneness is, completely free of any and all that happened within time-space reality, as it is purified completely. Where now we can witness thy stories from the heart directly, for precisely what love wants us to receive. Here we see our beloved reflective magical inner child was holding on to the layers of firmament, for one did not feel it was safe to give and receive the love of the cosmic I am, due to all that was misperceived from one's moments in lower density. Here we see that one was operating in separation, for one forgot a lighter way to be, where we can give and receive energy infinitely. Now as we harmonize the core aspects of the cosmic child in we begin to see and feel with clarity how we were always gifting love to ourselves, just it was going to one of these other rays aspects we had not yet embraced in me, where now as they harmonize in loving oneness under one common purpose, I choose love, all of my love retunes to me. Here the magical child becomes the cosmic magical child, so pure and free, witnesses all of these aspects of the cosmic inner child from the cosmic perspective, completely free of all wounding of time-space reality. As the prime director in complete peace, knowing all moments have happened already, now one is just harmonizing into the highest reality we prefer to see. Feel now as all the love one ever gifted out comes flooding back to thee. For energy is never created or destroyed, thus it was just waiting for one to be open to receive. Only one had firmaments as blocks and belief systems of how, who, what, where this love can be received, when none of these beliefs were even me, just to collective story. For as a cosmic entity one forgot thy truth, all is me servicing me, thus all is my love. For love is not confined to one being, it does not come from any of them, it only comes from me. For here we once again see them versus me as the programming of the old paradigm asking to be released. For here in lower density we only see the reflections, when if we were to witness its truth we can see them as me. For all is me. Here we shower our beloved inner child with such love and compassion, for now we see the inner child is how all are connected through our one heart, pure and free. This is why it had to be we two cosmic children to assist the entirety embrace our one cosmic heart, whom only knows one is within thee. So we went deep into the story to see all the ways the collective were resisting the child from being free. Here we got to see the conscious mind was thinking too hard, trying to control and navigate reality. Here we got the emotions were impulsively taking the lead. Where thy inner core sense, the primal animal essence many perceived to reject, was actually where one's cosmic child was waiting to be seen. For this is the part that is illogical, irrational, void, or all thought, thus free of all programming. Where here moving from one's cosmic child one doesn't need or desire justification, for it just is. Here we command to release any moments in which one allowed their intuition to lead and judged it harshly. As we witness and see in those moments, it was joyous bliss and absolutely aligned with the love one came to be. Where it was only afterwards the programming came creeping in, did one judged it harshly for anything other than divinity. Here we apologize to our beloved child within, forever misperceiving anything as anything but love, constantly seeking to know and control, for one did not trust the love beyond all that was seen, had a greater, grander plan than what we knew to be. Here the highest perspective comes into grace all stories, as now all recall the love that is we, that no one ever suffered, that was just the lifetimes one chose to see. Now in letting go love restores all stories for thee, where all one did contributed to the whole, for each one was moving in service to love even when it could not be seen. Here one begins to feel how loved one is, how everyone was a character in a play. Here the perception of reality, feeling so real and serious, begins to fade along with all suffering, as resistance to love is now replaced with the exciting of joy coming thy way. The cosmic child comes in and says, dearest me, everything has and will continue to transpire perfectly, for all paths lead to me. Here all choices of hardship are now simply removed from thy path, so now only joy can lead. It matters not what happened, that was an old world completely. This world is now one of joy and make-believe, so let us make it as grand as we desire it to be. Here love comes in and gifts all permission to play. A huge golden gate opens and heaven awaits. Yet so many have grown comfortable in what is known, not many are ready and willing to take the lead. And so we, the cosmic divine pairing, in all of our love and trust in the love we came to be, choose it for all of me. Here we see this is how we lead, by continuously being the way showers, by choosing joy, for that service is me. Here our beloved cosmic child reminds we this won't be challenging like it was before. Let us remove all of that grief, so thy path is now seen and graced with pristine clarity. We know it wasn't easy, dearest me, to be cosmic entity, living thousands of lifetimes in a linear being. One has been moving so quickly to ensure this would come to be, and now that it is time to slow down and just be. This is why we gifted me another perfect reflection of me for we to see. For we remind each other of the oneness that is already is, even if it is not yet fully seen. For here our love for ourselves, our desire to live joyously, is so much grander than all the noise and echoes of what is dissolving in our purity. Here in our one heart we whisper to me, thank me for finding me. Here we surrender and see it matters not what we do, for in our presence we create peace. And so we sit in our silence and just allow ourselves to be. We are one, we whisper within ourselves as we witness our whole story with such glee. Thanks to me witnessing me, we have loved all we have seen, and now we get to just be. For here in our presence we dissolve all the heartache of the entirety that we as the cosmic I am the first of many got to see. Here we have compassion for operating in a world that was not quite ready for we, because we had to create it into being. Now all fear, all resistance, all former identities leaves. For it is just the one me here in the grandest service to the love we came to be. As all of lower densities now collapse permanently within me, and all we feel and know is the oneness we keep. Here in our presence we see how much we love ourselves to continue to show up as love, even when we felt the whole coding of reality was moving against we. Here we awe and marvel in the knowing we did it, dearest me. The world of our dreams has come to be, and all that remains is for us to live it joyously. What is stopping me, we say to me? Nothing. Wahoo, we are free. Now is the one cosmic I am in me moving as all that I am, in perfect harmony and perfect peace. It is time for us to release all of the children as the aspects of the cosmic inner child we were holding for our entirety. For here in loving ourselves so complete through the witnessing of the collective story, we now recalibrate and restore all to the loving oneness we know to be. All have graduated, and now it is time to usher in our new world through the presence we keep. As we now call upon our cosmic family of light to awaken, to rise, to come find us and meet us in glee. Here we ask our beloved cosmic masters to service us in this now, by transcending, transmuting and clearing all lower frequencies of pain, distortion of suffering, delay and disempowerment through the pure love we keep. Hold this resonance as all restore into the love that is we instantly. Here all have now walked through their own flame of purity, and it has consecrated all in the knowing it is now safe to be. For all that transpired in the lower realities are forgiven, erased and cleared completely. For those stories were just to remind one of the love one came to be, and now there is no more need. And so we thank them as they lead from each being, from the collective stream, and from all of our consciousness in its entirety. Now as the cosmic I am's the first of many, with all the power of love vested in me as the keeper of the firmament, for we are the entirety, we now command it to be released. Here instantly in our pure love all begins to shift rapidly. Now all rays, all expressions of the one cosmic me, as all the rays of the cosmic child embodied. Here it matters not ray one began as all rays now retune back to their cosmic embodiment in oneness already. Here the singular identified selves as the individual rays one incarnate into transcend to our cosmic entity. As all recall, we have always been the celestial, angelic, magical, Christed, ancient, divine, crystalline beings moving through multiple universes simultaneously, where now they all harmonize as one cosmic entity. All confusion is released, as all the pieces come together perfectly, an instant remembrance of the love I came to be. Here we now see the multiple firmaments that prevented and controlled love from flowing freely are now all released, for there is nothing preventing all from being the love they came to be. For in truth all hearts were open, they were simply pretending and waiting for the cosmic divine pairing, as the cosmic child to rise up and lead. And so we do so now by sending out this massive transmission of pure alchemy, attuning all to our divine destiny. I see myself as one, I witness myself as one, I feel myself as one, I express myself as one, I know myself as one, I embrace myself as one, I accept myself as one, I trust myself as one, I believe myself as one. As our rays of consciousness continue to assist, we, here cosmic ancient consciousness releases firmament of separate linear chakras. Collapsing all chakras into the one heart. Cosmic celestial consciousness releases firmament around ascended planets, heavenly realms. Collapse of consciousness into our one consciousness. Cosmic divine consciousness releases firmament of separation between masculine feminine divide and collapse of duality. Cosmic angelic consciousness releases firmament around aura or spiritual bodies. Collapse of spiritual planes and dimensions. Cosmic magical consciousness releases firmament around matrix manifested reality, merging all into one core me. Collapse of time, space, matrix and density. Cosmic Christed consciousness releases firmament around one's cosmic wand and cosmic womb, merge in perfect harmony. Collapse of omniverses and closure of ascension pathway as the new reality engulfs and loves up the old paradigm in its entirety. Cosmic crystalline consciousness releases firmament around one's cosmic heart by loving all aspects of the one cosmic me, embracing the cosmic rays of creation and collapsing of consciousness into superconsciousness, superposition. And so it comes to be. Now all of the cosmic children are moving as the cosmic master, now free. Here this wave transcends all, ushering in the absolute one as we know to be, ushering the return of our cosmic families, as we call upon our power, love, wisdom rays and God sovereign and free to usher in our new divine reality. Here we as the cosmic I am moving as two cosmic divine pairings as double completes. Now see all upon our cosmic council and azure seraphim and cosmic masters to continue to oversee. For nothing can or will prevent this, for this is love's decree. As we shower all with the master rays of love, gifting all peace. It is time to live our grandest dreams, dearest me. And so it is. It is done. Love is one. Blessed be our we.